will the main house be available for Airbnb one day? Any regrets moving in without a functioning kitchen? Your next top 3 projects. No one can ever give me the money that I value this house at. $50 million. Well, $50 million. What would you rather do again? Windows or floors? Hello guys, welcome back to the vlog. You are actually going to be seeing this on Sunday. If you follow me on Instagram, you heard that I have been working a lot on the kitchen things. My mom was over here a while ago, and we have made a very dramatic decision. And if it comes together the way that we hope it does, the kitchen is going to be epic. Now, I knew it was going to be epic already, but like this just like throws it over the top. Like I don't even know. I hope. So while we work through those ideas, and I've been kind of like sketching our island, I'm DIYing our own island. And I'll give you a sneak peek. There's part of it because my plumber was here. We needed to prioritize the sink part and stuff. So I've been working on this area a lot, gearing up to get our countertops. We've been working on things. So this year was really big for me about this house particularly. It was more important to me that every project for this house and every video I create for the renovation of this house and for my channel was just of absolute quality. I valued that over sticking to the every Sunday upload schedule. And it's important for me to show up every Sunday or show up in some way for you guys because I value your time and I value you guys showing up for me every week. And it was just important. So I hope that I figured out a best of both worlds kind of scenario where projects need a little more time. I take more time to do those and show up with an extra vlog that week or something like that and really just make each video really, really epic, like how the dining room came out or how the guest bathroom is coming along, really giving each project in this house the time it deserves because a kitchen is not built in a week and it takes time. So you guys will see this on Sunday. You'll have another vlog on Tuesday and I think we can have another renovation video on Thursday. If that happens, we may be able to get our countertops, but of course I'll keep you guys updated as it comes along. But like the kitchen is just such a special place. I let you guys know that over on Instagram. So I asked you guys if you had any questions so that we could do a little Q&A. Kinsley and I are here. Hey, what are you doing over there? Can you see her? I think she's finally gotten familiar with the house. She's had enough time now to kind of like sniff out every corner, to really get her bearings, and now she's finally just like chilling out a little bit. Tell everybody how much you're loving your new house. Do you want to tell them? Huh? Are you loving your new house? So, look at my sketches. I have so many sketches for the island. You guys will see like all my ideas come to life. The luxury and the amazing part about doing a custom everything for this house is that it's incredibly unique and it's like specific to our house and just really cool. DIY is just so cool because you learn so much, but you also get to make something so special. And so this island is going to be super special because we're using, you guys remember the old porch, we're using those old columns that were rotten on the bottom, but the majority of the column was still good. We just couldn't use them for the patio again because they weren't going to be high enough. So I'm using 2 of them and I'm cutting them down to use as the island. 2, if not 3. We may be using 3, maybe in the center or something, and then do 4 bar stools. So we'll see what it can support, but we have 4. That's what I've been working on. So I asked you guys some questions. So let's do a Q&A, shall we? Kids, you want to do a Q&A? Oh, look at this, you guys. That's gonna go above our oven. That's what kind of, vents the oven and stuff. It's so pretty. It's Miele too, so it matches our refrigerator. Will you be living there full time? I get this question a lot, actually. It does definitely feel like I have been living here full time. And obviously staying in Texas a lot more because we're doing this project and because we're doing so much renovations. And then Romeo is also here a lot more this year. And this is kind of just like what I'm working on, but the overall goal is to have this be a home that's close to my parents, that we spend part of the year, and then we also have a home in LA. I mean, that's the dream. I mean, we have our apartment still in LA, and I love Los Angeles. It's a place I feel like some people, like, you either love it or you hate it, and I just happen to love it. And that's just where I'm at. I'm so happy that we made the investment that we did, because the property values are already so high here that our house is worth so much more than we paid for it, which we never intend to sell it, but you know what I mean? Like, it was just such a good investment as well. So the answer is no, not to full time. At least that's what we're still thinking right now. Are you planning on going back to trade days? Miss these vlogs? Yes. Okay, so I have not been to trade days in 2 months. Is it 2 months? In Fredericksburg, 2 months, I think. Because I was like, I have so much stuff. I need to move in the house. I needed to dedicate all of my time to like getting the house moving ready. I got to a point where I didn't even remember what I had bought. Like, it was too much. When I thought about it, I was like, should I really be going to like look for more stuff? I don't even know what I'm looking for. I'm not even in the house yet. So yes, now that we're in the house and almost done with the floors, I'm going to be taking all of the decor that I have purchased over the last year and a half, moving it into the guest bedroom and kind of like organizing it. That's going to be so much fun for us to do. Then we're going to lay it all out and really see what we have, and I'm going to pick from it as we start to do room makeovers and stuff and decorate and design, and then we'll see what we still need. I love to go shopping on a mission, like to look for something specific, so I'm hoping that we know more about what we need. We have so much fun. It's also so hot, you guys. It was raining, I think, the last trade days, and it's supposed to be 105 degrees tomorrow. So if like trade days was tomorrow, I probably wouldn't go. Because that's insane. It's just too hot right now. It's just not enjoyable to go. Is there a part of the house you are dreading redoing? I think that there might have been, but I think we've been through it all already. I think right now I would say the yard because it's excruciatingly hot. Like, my ACs are working into overtime. It's gonna be so hot. So I guess I would say that part right now because I'm so overworking outside and in the heat. But no, I mean, it's all amazing. It's all fun. Any regrets moving in without a functioning kitchen, laundry, instead of waiting a few weeks? No, I think that I was like fully ready to move into a construction zone, especially not having a kitchen. That's why I prioritize the bathroom, you know, running water, a place to shower, stuff like that. You will see, I've already filmed Tuesday's vlog, so you will see it, but we did install a fridge. So that is done. So I think that helped a lot. Laundry, nah. I mean, there's a laundromat down the street. I don't really care about that. But our plumber is coming next week to install that. And the kitchen thing, no. I mean, we could just go eat something. I'm pretty simple when it comes to that stuff. So I don't regret moving in for sure. Ooh, this is such a good question. What was your most unexpectedly easy or hard project? Okay, unexpectedly easy was cabinetry. I mean, I think that the idea of building cabinets is like daunting and there's a lot to consider, but once you get it in your head and you actually try it, it's surprisingly easy. It's a box. And as long as it's square and right, and I got to have it extremely custom without the price tag, I think that was surprisingly easy. Maybe somewhat unexpectedly hard was the new flooring. I thought in my head restoring the old floors would have been harder than the new floors. When it came down to it, all of the steps that the new floors took to lay down and stain and stuff, and all the issues that we've been having with pine was way harder than I had expected. So those would be the two for sure. When are you going to finish the front porch? So finally the materials are ready. The decking, the composite decking that we ordered is coming. Should be next week. That's gonna be a project that we focus on when it cools down a little bit. And then we'll be able to like finish that and put the posts, the new posts and stuff and start working outdoor. But I just working outside right now is brutal. Color stain for the floor. We picked golden oak because we were matching the existing floors, how they kind of like cleaned up and just the age of the floors. So the old floors are not stained. That's just how they naturally have aged. So we picked the new stain, which is golden oak, to match that. That's the closest that we could get. How long and wide is your kitchen island, and will it have seating? Our island is 4 by 8, so 4 foot deep and 8 foot wide, and it will have seating. We'll have bar stools on this side. Okay, we have relocated because my battery died, so I had to wait until my camera charged. So the island will be 4x8 and the bar stools will sit here. So that's your view to the kitchen. What got you into thrifting? Romeo. He was thrifting clothing. I went with him one time, started looking in the home stuff, and it's definitely evolved since then. That was years and years ago. But Kinsley, you're gonna knock over the camera. Sit down. Like I've been thrifting lots in my life, you know, for clothing more, but like home decor was really just where it was kind of like happenstance. It just kind of like, I just went with him one day, and then it just, my love for it just kind of grew. And then it was like a hunt. You know, I just like, you never know what you're gonna find. New While Olivia Sleeps collection coming soon. So my mom has an art collection. It's called While Olivia Sleeps Art. She has all of her art on Etsy. She sells her, she was painting for me, and then she was like, I really enjoy this. So she started painting original art, and then she started putting them in vintage frames that we would find, and they're just beautiful. I mean, every collection, I just was like, Mom, she gets better. And not to say that she wasn't good to begin with, but like, it's just amazing what she's able to accomplish. She's so talented. Her attention to detail and the way that she sees color is really, really, really incredible. So she's coming out with a new collection, but it will probably be July. So it'll be next month. So stay tuned, follow her on Etsy. And I always launch the collections on my vlog. So you'll be the first to know. So make sure that you have the bell notification on so you know. When I usually put it in the title too. What paint color are you thinking for doing in the living room? So we're in the living room right now. I'm thinking of continuing the gray mist from the dining room and throughout the kitchen and into this space on the walls, but I want to leave the rich tone wood. I still need to stain this door. But back here where there's beadboard on each side of the fireplace, I want to do something dramatic. I don't know yet, but those are going to be bookshelves. So I don't know yet, but we'll play it by ear. But every room will take on its own kind of character for sure, and it'll kind of embody what it wants, but all be really cohesive throughout the whole house. Where did you find your dining table? You guys, I fell in love with it, okay? But I call it Warner's, but it's not Warner's. Warner's is the restaurant. I got it at the antique store next door with all the Frenchy things. She was beautiful, and I actually saw her months ago in there before I even had the dining room in my head, and I just walked in and it was perfect. I have been looking for a dining room table forever, and I convinced myself the only way that I would buy a dining room table is if it was vintage and it was antique and it was in the right shape that I wanted, because I really wanted something that was more rustic. I wanted this like juxtaposition of the French provincial chairs that had a little more polish, with something that was like really rustic and like worn. And I fell in love with the dovetail knots, and I knew I loved it 3 months ago, but I'd kind of forgotten about it. And then when I went back in and it was sitting there, I was in a different place in this shop. I was just like, give me this now. Took my mom back, we talked through it. It was just the best decision. So I got it in Fredericksburg. Stop by there if you are ever in town. It is an incredible place to visit, but you're definitely going to spend money if you're going to buy something from there, for sure. After this house, will you plan on working on or purchasing another? We definitely want to purchase something in Los Angeles. I don't think that I will put as much of my own sweat and energy into it. Now, being through this process, I think that a lot of it comes from like, I did that, I know how, I can oversee it. It's worth the time spent, it's worth hiring that out now. You know, just that I want to move on to a different phase in my life. I kind of, not that I do things once and I'm like, I move on from it, but I think that this is my pride and joy. And I've done so much myself that I think the next project will be a little bit lighter in like my hands, but we will still decorate and still do DIYs and still take on some of the projects, but not quite the same way. How much did it cost to redo the floors yourself? That's a very good question, and I will add it all up for you. We had to rent machinery, so that was a cost. We paid for the sandpaper for that machinery, for all of those sanders. Bought the sealer, so that was one. So that was just, I'll just add up what it cost to restore the flooring. To lay the new flooring will be a little bit more complicated. We had to buy plywood. The floors, all of the floors for the addition cost about $30 $200, all the wood. So it was that. We had to buy the red guard, you know, like the weatherproofing and all of those stages. The glue was like $100 a bucket kind of thing. Eventually, once we're all done, when I have more time, I will really sit down and kind of nail out what costs went to specific projects, and then we'll kind of have a better idea. Why is Romeo so hands-off in this process, like not being involved in picking things out? So Romeo and I have been together for, it was 14 years, 14? Wait. Our anniversary is February 3rd, 2009. So it was 13 years this past February. And we were really young when we met, and we've really just know each other, right? And so my love for home decor and doing this stuff, it's just my thing. It's also my business, you know, because I create content online, I create videos. He has an amazing eye for design as well, and he's a very creative person. So if I ask his opinion, he will 100% tell me the truth. He'd be like, that's weird, no. But sometimes I feel like he just can't see it yet, you know, so sometimes I'll go forward with it, but I really value his opinion. But this is my thing. House stuff, he has projects that he works on that's his thing, and we don't mix them, and it's really how creative people thrive, you know. Like if there's too many opinions and it gets cloudy. I think he really likes my style, so I think it works. This is just my thing, and yeah, and some things are just his thing. What kind of paintings will be in your mama's next drop? Let's ask her. Our friends have a question. All right. They would like to know what type of art you are creating for your next collection.
Hey, florals.
Florals. It's florals. Wait, we asked them, right, what florals they wanted, or what type of art they wanted, and you guys resoundingly said that you like florals. So there's gonna be, you normally have painted more like white florals. You're gonna have more color this time?
There's blues and pale roses, kind of rose color.
More like muted roses. Can we call this collection Parisian Cottage?
Parisian Cottage, yes. That fits it perfectly. And then there's one that has a cabin.
Best relationship advice for long-term couples. I hope your partner is your best friend, because I feel like that is the key, at least for us. I'm a big believer in every relationship is different, and every advice from every person that is not in your relationship has to be taken with a grain of salt, because you have to go through and work through your own mistakes, and you really have to find your person and your balance with different things. And Romeo and I have gone through so much together, and we've obviously been together for 13 years, and we've had our ups and downs, and at the end of the day, I can never imagine my life without him, and that's really what it comes down to. So any argument or disagreement that we have is somewhat trivial, because we don't like to fight. I think the longest fight that we've had has probably lasted 30 minutes. I think at the end of the day, if you look at your relationship and the good outweighs the bad, it's right. If you got along 100% of the time and you always thought the same way, you'd literally be in a relationship with yourself. And nothing is perfect, but you want that because you'd be dating yourself. So I think at the end of the day, if the good outweighs the bad, then it is right. When the bad outweighs the good, I think in anything, that could be advice for anything in life, not just a relationship, but where you're living or your career or whatever it is. When the bad outweighs the good, you need to make really tough decisions. And with Romeo and I, the good has always been so high. I think if this was the scale, this much is good and then that much is bad. Literally, just fall in love with your best friend. It really works out really well. Are you keeping track of how much doing it yourself is saving you? So it's hard in some situations. I know because we've either gotten quotes or we know how much it would have cost, and then we decided to DIY. A lot of things we went straight into the DIY process, so I don't know how much it would have cost to do it, to have someone else do it. So I'm not quite sure. Let's say for instance, our fence, which you guys really haven't seen much of yet because the outdoor is such a big project. It's more than just the fence. So it's still a work in progress. So we have our fence up and it's iron. My dad built it. Well, not everybody has a dad that's a welder. He loves welding. So he built my fence in like a week. It's absolutely insane. It was custom. I drew it. It's amazing. You probably can see it in some of my videos. The only thing that we paid for was materials. So it was $1,600 in materials. And I asked him, how much do you think it would have cost to get this custom made for the house? And he said more than $30,000. And that, I mean, that's just for our front yard. Can you imagine so much iron for the whole property or something? So that's a huge savings from 30, even if it was just 30,000 to 1,600. Like, that is huge. So that's one savings for sure. I know the demo that we did all ourselves saved us a lot of money because we wanted to save everything. So then that kind of also went back into the house. So we saved on the salvaged material, not having to buy it again. Will the main house be available for Airbnb one day? No. I have grown so attached to this house and its contents that I could never imagine people staying in here that I don't know. No, this is like my pride and joy. I would never be able to. Have you started ordering furniture for the house? If so, where have you purchased it? I'm sitting on our couch, which you will see in the vlog on Tuesday, us bringing it here. I will link this. This is from Universal Furniture. I got it from a retailer, but I'll link this couch. I got our bed. Okay, if our bed is still on sale, you guys, I bought this bed, for the bed that we have in the room, for $600. And it's on sale for like half off. So if you're looking for a new bed, I love this bed. You do need a box spring though. So don't do what I did. But you do need a box spring. I like the one I got. I got it on Amazon. I will link all of it. So if it's on sale still, absolute steal. So as we go along, I will definitely link it. But everything for our dining room in terms of furniture was all vintage. Is there an estimated date you think you'll be done with renovations by? I'm thinking in my head it's by Christmas. So we've got 6 more months of renovate. I think that a house is a living, breathing thing though. It is always going to need perfecting and work and upkeep. But I think by Christmas and by come November, we're gonna be pretty much through the design process and the makeover process. And I think we're gonna be to the point where we can have a really, truly epic Christmas here. And I wanna go all out this Christmas. Do you think renovating an old house is doable for someone who has a full-time job, time-wise? Anything is possible if you want to. You just have to realize that it's just gonna take more time. I worked on this house full-time for a year and a half to get to this stage. I chose to do a lot of things that took more time, like salvaging. Doing things myself took more time. So if you hire a lot more out, it's going to go faster. And I think if you just accept that it's gonna take time and take time with the budget that you can incorporate, anything's possible. So just because you have a full-time job, I would not do it. You know, like definitely if you want to do it, you have to go for it. We have one life, you know what I mean? Like let's go. Will you sell the house after you finish with the renovation? No one can ever give me the money that I value this house at. If someone drove up to my house today and they knocked on my door and was like, I will give you $10 million. I will give you $50 million. Well, 50 million. I mean, I guess you can put a price on anything, but I don't think that I told someone the other day, I was like, this will go into my children's will, that they will never be able to sell this house because of all of the sweat and energy that I have put into this house. So no, I will never sell this house. Never say never. I don't know what the future holds or anything. But as of today, absolutely not. This is like, this property is worth more than what I bought it for, than what I've put in it. The house down the street, like not too far away, sold for 1.3 million. What? Insane. This area is just like booming. Your next top 3 projects are room makeovers. Okay, so we are heavily working on the kitchen, and I am wrapping up the final episode in the guest bathroom, like storage and decorating and stuff like that. So those 2 projects we're working on right now. And then the next room, and then I think we are moving outdoors. So, because since we've already started, that's a kind of like ongoing project. With the fence and the porch, since our materials are coming, we might be going outside depending on how hot it is and how the weather goes. But I would love to move outside and do those. And then work on, once I get all of this stuff, look at this stuff, you guys, all of this stuff out of the living room, I would love to start working on the living room and kind of like what you walk into. Like, you know, like when people come over, I don't know who's gonna come over, but you know, like when you walk in the house, the dining room, the kitchen, this area will kind of like be there and be done. That would be amazing. Why do you prefer buying old stuff than new stuff? I'm loving your renovation series. Thank you. I think what started as budget constraints led to a path of realizing how much stuff there is that we just don't need to buy everything new. And there's just so much there that's cheaper and has history and is almost more, in some ways, more unique or special than anything else. But really when it started and I started thrifting, it's because I really wanted a beautiful house, but I couldn't afford it. Like I couldn't afford to buy everything new, or I didn't want something that was too trendy because then, you know, like, am I gonna get rid of this next season kind of thing? And then it turned into, holy cow. I remember walking into a thrift store one time and there was just rows and rows and rows of dishware and glassware. I'm like, do we really need to be getting rid of glasses? Drinking glasses? Like, there's just so much of it. We just like don't need that. Like, what? It blew my mind. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and preach to you that you should never buy anything new, because that I would be a hypocrite. Of course I buy new stuff. Of course. Do I love the occasional trip to a new store, a new boutique? Yes. Do I love to go to Target and shop in the home section? Yes. Do I value a trip to the thrift store or the antique store where I find something that was made in, you know, 100 years ago, that has a history, that is just one of a kind and is not going to be in anyone else's home, really? Yeah. And I think that there's beauty in both. And I think that it's all about what you value. And, you know, there is so much that we can save from, you know, just being trash. Any updates on the cottages? I actually quite do have a big update on the cottages. You guys, it's expensive to build right now. Like, I started thinking about it, and you guys know when we bought this property, we bought it as an investment property. So we wanted to restore the 1910 house and then have 3 guest cottages on the property, to have an investment property, to have Airbnbs, to have an income if and when, you know, I'm always thinking ahead and thinking of the future. And like, I was like, what do I do if I don't want to be on camera anymore? No, that's not going to happen. But you know, like what happens later on in life? And I'm 33. And so like what, you know, when you start a family, you start to think of those things. And when I started to think of that, I thought of investments and real estate and Airbnb and things that we could do. And so we made that investment for this property. And then when I think about the guest cottages, it's so expensive to build right now still. I feel like prices went down for a little bit and went back up. And then with gas prices, it's, you know, materials are on the rise again, and it's costing so much more. We have decided to we've been pressing pause, but we've decided to take even more of a pause away from that project, because I have so much on my plate already with just this house, that I can't imagine starting another project and going through another another build project to have more contractors here in this. I need a break from it, and we need to let the market calm down a little bit. This is so funny. Nice to know that you're reading for fun, but where are you gonna put all these not so pretty books? I thought about that. Oh my God, it was one night I was reading and I was like ready to open my book and ready to start reading, and I looked at the cover and I was like, I really don't want this on my bookshelf. I was like, where am I gonna put these books? Because I want to keep reading, and I even got 2 more books. And I'm like, they're definitely gonna have to go in the closet with all my office supplies. It's not my fault, right, Kinsley? It's not my fault. You still love Mama for loving pretty books only, right, on display? She says yes. So they're going in the closet. That's hilarious that you guys asked that. That's so true. The book covers are not cute. They're just not. How your mom looks for estate sales. Estate sale. I really want to try it out. Okay, so my mom, we call her the queen of estate sales because she always finds the good ones and where to go. And she's like sending me links and stuff. So my mom will find an estate sale online and she'll look at the company that has it, and she'll sign up for their updates, their newsletters, their whatever they send out when they're gonna have an upcoming sale. So she gets emails. She also goes to estatesales.net. And if you go on there, you can type in, like, when you click on the search bar, you can go to like estate sales or sales near my location, and then you can see them. They even have them in LA. I've even looked on there for in LA. So definitely look for them in your area. You never know what's gonna pop up. What would you rather do again, windows or floors? Oh, don't make me do that. Maybe floors. I think it was more satisfying. The windows never ended. I felt like the floors didn't take near as long as the windows did, even though picking up the linoleum part was time consuming. And it did take months, but the windows, I don't ever want to do windows again. So I would have to pick floors. Where's your bathtub caddy from? Ooh, you saw that, did you? So that's one of the things that I ordered for the bathroom to decorate with. But obviously we've been living here, so we've actually had to start using it. It's beautiful, it's epic. I got it from Anthropologie. She was expensive though. Okay, I spent days looking for a vintage caddy. I saw this inspiration picture of a vintage bath caddy that had a taper candlestick. And I was like, I need it. Couldn't find it anywhere. All the other ones that I saw online were like cheapy looking, like the metal was like, wasn't hefty enough for me. This one from Anthropologie was not cheap, but the quality of it is superior. It's hefty, it has meat to it. I am excited. I love my purchase. So I will link it for you though. They have like a lot of cool bathroom stuff on Anthropologie too. Have you considered getting an editor? So if you guys don't know, I am kind of a one-woman show when it comes to content creation. I do everything. I film, I edit, I find my music, I come up with concepts. I do everything in terms of content, all of my Instagram stuff, all of my social media stuff. And there have been many occasions where I have considered getting help in that stage, and one of them has been an editor, and I just can't do it. It's part of my creative process to edit a video. I'm constantly directing a video, the scenes and what you see and how transitions happen and the story that I'm telling. Even though it's real life, it follows a storyline, and to make it really enjoyable for you guys to watch. And it's just part of my creative process. And I don't think that I'll ever be able to let go of the editing process. So it's just something that I've accepted that is going to be part of the process. It's going to take me time. So one of my main channel videos will take me a full day to edit. If I'm really like putting in the work for it and I'm not rushing through it, and take time to match the music and pull footage from other videos for references. And it's all about showing, not just telling for me. And so it's a lot of reference footage actually. So no, I can't, as of now, it's not something that I can part with. And it's just really something that is important to me to do, you know? Okay, final question. How has it been living in the house so far? Great. It has been so wonderful to move in. I feel like it's such a long time coming. We have you know what I do feel like has been a bad thing though, is that now that I'm in the space, I have a lot more downtime to just like look around, and I'm like, I have the longest to-do list though, because I've really been able to like sit with the house and live with it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I gotta do that. So it's been such, that's been horrible. And also good, because then I have a list of things to do. But it has been really amazing. She is clearly very well adjusted. Look at her. Look at this baby. It's gonna take some time to make this feel like a home and like lived in, and not just a workspace or a project, a work in progress. It's just such an accomplishment moving in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. I am gonna keep working on this island. I have come up with some really, really daring ideas, and I think it's going to be incredible. And I'm gonna call my fabricator on Monday and see when we can get our countertops, so that, you know, hopefully that can all happen at the same time. So stay tuned for another episode of Making Over Our Kitchen. If you guys have Instagram, follow me there, and to ask questions on the next Q&A. I know everyone doesn't have Instagram, so of course you can comment below any more questions that you have, and I will see you guys very soon. I'm gonna edit this up so you guys can have it tomorrow and sit here and probably stare at Kinsley sleep. Do you think that's creepy? Do you think it's creepy that I watch you sleep? I think she thinks it's creepy. But I love you. I love you.